let's get into our next storyteller, Lauren Davis. Lauren is a St. Louis-born and Brooklyn-based comedian and writer whose storytelling-driven comedy explores relationships, identity, and everyday absurdity. She has performed across the U.S. and internationally in Toronto, London, and Mexico City, and at festivals in Rogue Island. A 2024 SeriesFest TV Writing Fellow and 2025 Because They're Funny Festival semi-finalist Lauren also co-produces Postmoves Comedy, a weekly Sunday show in Brooklyn. When she's not on stage, she's more than likely daydreaming about eating her way through Japan. In her story, Portrait Mode, Lauren's story explores what happens when we stop hiding parts of ourselves we're most ashamed of. Can we still be loved when we show up as our weirdest, unmasked selves? Please welcome Lauren Davis.
Are we enjoying the show? Okay, give it up for your host. Give it up for this production. This is amazing. Guys did a really good job. This is like a well-run ship in here. I really want to take the mic out, but I won't. Okay, they asked me not to, but I won't. But I did have to move the thing out the way. You guys have to see the fit, right? Come on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have to see. You gotta see. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see the fit. I came dressed today. Yeah, thank you. Okay, you guys. I'm Lauren Davis. A little bit about me. Growing up, I had a lot of beef with God, okay? Yeah, as a kid, I felt like God was making me draw 4 Uno reverse on my struggles, okay? Has anyone else ever felt like that? Yeah, like he just stacking and stacking and stacking, and it's like you playing the game wrong, dude, okay? And I really felt like that because, okay, I'm black, all right? Asthmatic. Can't dance, can't fight. And I was born completely blind in my right eye, okay? I have no vision in my right eye. That's a lot of things, right? Plus, I didn't even tell y'all what my toes look like. Yeah, did not tell you that. Let's just say I have never been 10 toes down in my whole life. No, but I honestly feel like I'm not even supposed to be on this stage. I honestly feel like I'm not even supposed to be performing. I'm supposed to be on a rich man's yacht, okay? Yeah. But God said, no, we're gonna give her personality, okay? We're gonna make her interesting. God. And then, growing up, my mother was always very hypervigilant about my eye, right? She would make me wear goggles to play basketball, yeah, to protect the good eye. And then because my right eye, the blind eye, looks a lot different than my left, she didn't want me to be teased. So she put me in private school. As if rich white kids don't bully. That's okay. My mama didn't read Lord of the Flies, you guys. She didn't read it. She didn't read it at all. And no, them kids didn't bother me. I feel like the worst part about going to school with white kids, besides the fact that I still can't braid, dance, or fight, is that my first crush looked like Hey Arnold, you guys. Man, yeah. Yeah. But my mother, she knew it was hard for me because I never really saw anybody who had this condition, anybody that could really relate. So she wanted me to have representation. Representation matters, right, you guys? Yeah. She wanted me to have representation. So she put up posters in my room of Forrest Whitaker. And Captain Jack Sparrow. It was horrible. It was horrible. I love my mother. But what young Lauren wanted more than anything, what I wanted more than anything growing up as a preteen, I wanted to be on Disney Channel. Did we grow up watching That's So Raven? Yes, Hilary Duff, Lizzie McGuire. I wanted it. I would practice in the mirror. I was like, hey, it's Lauren, and you're watching Disney Channel. You know, just a little, it's a little mouse ears. You guys know, I practiced. I wanted it so bad. So I had the opportunity, I guess I was like 11 or something, to do a Disney Channel audition. And this was in St. Louis, Missouri. So you know it was a scam, right? It was a scam. But we didn't know it was a scam. So we went, it was a whole bunch of us. We corralled in like a hotel's ballroom. And when it was my turn, I went up, I did my monologue, I killed it. And the woman was like, you are fantastic. You know, you just gotta fix your eye. Right? She said it like it was nail polish that needed to change, or like bangs that needed to grow out. And now the tagline was, hey, it's Lauren, and you're watching My Dreams Die Before My One Eye. You know what I mean? Like, I was devastated. And that moment, and like a series of other moments, taught me that my eye was the thing keeping me from more love, more connection, from being seen, and ultimately from being on Disney Channel. So when I was a teenager, I got a custom sort of like contact lens, something that sort of looked like my left eye, and to give it some more semblance of symmetry, right? And I basically achieved my goal. I wanted to look more normal. I wanted to look more like everyone else. And I wore this contact lens for years, and then those years turned into over a decade. And throughout that time, you know, I said to myself that the contact lens was sort of like makeup, right? It was this thing that I could put on and take off whenever I wanted, but it sort of became more like armor. It became more like a shield, more like something that I needed. And I don't know what happens when you turn like 28, 29. I think that's when your brain really fully starts developing. But I was just getting tired, right? I was getting tired of myself. I was craving more intimacy. I was craving more connection, but I just knew that I was being masked even with myself. So I decided to stop wearing the lens altogether, and you guys can see I don't wear it. I decided to stop wearing it, and that felt very scary, right? I was like, okay, I've been used to this thing. This thing is the thing that's supposed to help me be seen, but I was really just feeling farther and farther from myself. So stopped wearing it altogether, and I was excited and I was anxious, and I was like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? And that summer, I quit my job, and I went to Europe for a little bit. I did like a little European vacation or whatever. And during that time, I met a man, British man, black British, come on now. Let y'all know. Whirlwind romance. It was amazing, but spoiler alert, we are not together anymore. Let me tell you the spoiler. Okay, so British guy is cute, right? The accents is cute, but if I got too high, y'all, I would need subtitles, okay? Couldn't do it. And then you know, he loved the British rap. The British rap was a grime and drill. I couldn't do it. It's like 2 + 2 = 4. You know what I mean? Like that's not for me. That's not for me. I'm like, yo, get Harry Potter out the booth, okay? Get him out the booth. Okay, anyways, it's not about that. Okay, reel it back in. So I'm with this man. I'm feeling like really like, I'm just myself. I'm not wearing this contact lens, this thing that I had been wearing for so long. He and I are in Paris. We're walking around. We're holding hands. And I'm feeling good. And I stop and I look at him and I was like, hey, I think I'm falling in love with you. And he stops and he looks at me and he goes, you are? And obviously I cringed when I think back at that moment, but when I really think back at that moment, I'm like, oh no, I was being so myself. I was being super unmasked. I was traveling. At this time, I had just started performing stand-up comedy, and I was doing all the things that I'd always wanted to do. And I was like, oh my God, I'm actually just like finally falling in love with myself. Ew. I was like, I'm finally like at this place where I'm like really feeling like an enormous amount of love for myself, and it came out as I love you, but it's not, it was about me. And I guess I was just like finally the version of myself that teenage Lauren always wanted to see. And yeah, now I don't think about it as like a draw for. I'm like, I welcome all the things that like make me myself and make me who I am. And I actually think it's like cool, you know. I think my eye is really cool. I think actually having to turn to see you guys is really cool actually too. I didn't even see y'all, you know what I mean? Like, what's up? Like, I gotta do all of this to see y'all. But you know, in New York, I'm actually at an advantage. You know why? Because I don't care about half the stuff y'all care about, okay? There's a lot going on in this city, but ignorance is bliss, okay? Yeah, my whole life just been in portrait mode, you guys. Yeah. No, and then me and God were cool too. Just to wrap it up, me and God were cool. We're on a good page. I have this really kooky aunt, and she says, you know, baby, when God made people like you and me, it's like he took an edible. And I vibe with that, right? Because I'm like, yo, that's so true. He was just having fun. Forgot some details, you know? And obviously, I'm not upset about my eye. I think it's amazing. But can I just make one suggestion? It would have been nice if he had remembered my titties, okay? Okay? Just slapped 2 milk duds on my chest and called it a day. And I just feel, okay, just hear me out. I just feel like if you're gonna give a girl one eye, you better give her double D's, okay? Right? Thank you guys. I've been Lauren Davis.